Story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. In our major story, police confirm explosion in Azare, Bauchi State. Also in this program, Nigerian army retakes the town of Chibok few days after it fell to Boko Haram. Independent National Electoral Commission extends voter registration exercise in Lagos, Kano, and 4 other states. And outside Nigeria, Islamic State's militants behead American hostage Abdul Rahman Kasig. And now the details. The police in Bauchi State have confirmed that an explosion occurred in Azare, Bauchi State. State Police Commissioner Lawal Shehu, who confirmed the blast, said rescue operation was in progress. Shehu did not, however, give the number of casualties either dead or injured in the blast. Azare, which houses a federal government college, is coming under bombers' attack for the second time in less than 3 weeks, with the latest blast said to have occurred at the popular GSM market in the town. Nigeria military says troops have retaken Chibok from Boko Haram few days after the insurgents took over the community. Defense headquarters disclosed this in a series of tweets from its Twitter handle. It said troops have not only pushed out the insurgents, but are also carrying out more operations. Defense spokesman General Chris Olukolade added that special forces are pursuing the fleeing insurgents, but there is still no independent confirmation of the report. Boko Haram insurgents took over Chibok early on Friday morning. Borno State school resumption. The Borno State government says it's planned to enlist the services of local vigilante groups, otherwise known as civilian JTF, to provide security in public schools ahead the Monday, November 17 reopening date. Public schools in the state are expected to reopen on Monday after being shut on March 16 due to security challenges occasioned by the Boko Haram insurgency. Chairman of the Committee on the Resuscitation of Primary School Education in the state, Mohammed Dungel, disclosed this in a meeting with education secretaries and headmasters of public schools in Maiduguri. Dungel said the vigilante group had already been contacted to provide surveillance in all schools. Dungel said the state government had also provided perimeter fencing in public schools to prevent security breach. He added that food vendors in all schools would be thoroughly screened on a daily basis to prevent any incident, while also confirming that additional security measures have been taken to prevent any attack. He said the state government had also provided logistics support in the shape of 2 utility vehicles to the vigilante group to monitor activities in schools in Maiduguri and Jera local government areas of the state. Over 20 people are feared killed today as the raging communal violence in Shabu headquarters of Shabu Development Area in Lafia local government area of Nasarawa State again erupted. Reports say trouble broke out around 12 midnight following a rumor of attack on Alkio village and environs by suspected Fulani militants who had forced residents in the area to flee to Shabu for safety. Angry mobs were said to have compelled commuters who were in transit to disembark, causing panic among several other commuters who were stranded during the fracas that lasted several hours before the arrival of security forces. Nasarawa State Head of Service Dominic Bako, who was caught up in the crisis, is said to be among several others who managed to escape with gunshot wounds and currently receiving treatment at the Dalhatu Araf Specialist Hospital, Lafia, the state capital. As the issue of insecurity continues to remain on the front burner, Nigerians have been urged to be more security conscious and proactive. A university don and head of department political science at the University of Ibadan, Osiosoma Unwolise, made this known while speaking on the state of the nation on the sidelines of the launch of a book on good governance in the legislature.
Nigerians are not mobilized on security matters. We are not. We are atomized. If people are going to church and they see a black bag by the side of the door, everybody will leave it and go in. Nobody will say, what is in this bag? Even up to now, with all the explosions that have taken place. So we are not mobilized. People are not mobilized. We are too busy pursuing money, pursuing what we shall eat. And then that reminds me of an African adage. Our ancestors taught us that if somebody is too busy pursuing what he will eat, he will not be able to see what is coming to eat him. All right? So we need that training, we need that awareness. People have to be trained, people have to mobilize for security awareness so that we can always report promptly to security agents people or things that seem strange to us at any given time.
As the insurgency in northeastern Nigeria festers, the United Nations says the population of Nigerian refugees in a Cameroonian camp has tripled in the last 2 months. In a statement issued by the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, the organization cited Cameroonian authorities' claim that about 13,000 Nigerian refugees crossed over from the Nigerian border of Adamawa after Boko Haram insurgents attacked and captured the town of Mubi in late October. UNHCR warned that thousands of Nigerians who escaped the deadly threat posed by the terrorist group Boko Haram are fleeing into neighboring Cameroon. The organization said the refugees fled to Gilda and Gashiga towns in the northern region of Cameroon and to Boha, Mogode and Bukula in the far north. UNHCR, however, noted that in spite of the continued attacks, most of the recent 13,000 refugees in Cameroon have returned to Nigeria with Yola, Adamawa state capital, as their destination. UNHCR said it is examining claims by the refugees that they had been forced to return to their country of origin as they re-entered Nigeria, adding that it is seeking assurances from both countries that the return of these people was done on a voluntary basis. The UN organization also said recent violence on the Niger-Nigeria border had prompted at least 1,000 Nigerians to escape into Niger's Boso area, particularly when the insurgents captured Malam Fatori last week. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has extended the continuous voter registration in Kano, Lagos, Plateau, Ogun, Edo, and Imo states by 2 days. Adamawa is the only one state in the third phase whose residents would not benefit from the 2-day extension. INEC said in a statement by its spokesman Kayode Dowu that the exercise, which commenced on Wednesday, November 12, and was scheduled to end on Monday, November 17, will now last until Wednesday, November 19. It added that INEC chairman, Professor Atayiru Jega, approved the extension to make up for initial challenges in the exercise, as well as to enable as many eligible persons as possible to get registered. The commission, however, says it would not take kindly multiple registration during the exercise. You're watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll go on a break now and we'll be back with more stories.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Professor. My former students. Happy birthday to you.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Nigerians are expected to seek out the best words to describe the activity.
The Yoruba Unity Forum is conducted.
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west and around Africa. We break the news. Now you can catch all the actions live as the news spreads. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
A 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Thank you for being there. And if you're just joining us, here is a reminder of the top stories. Police confirm explosion in Azare, Bauchi State. Nigerian army retakes the town of Chibok few days after it fell to Boko Haram. Independent National Electoral Commission extends voter registration exercise in Lagos, Kano, and 4 other states. Former Minister of Labour and Productivity, Emeka Wogu, says he's still in the Abia governorship race, contrary to speculations in certain quarters that he has given up on his ambition as a result of an alleged truce among aspirants of Ukwa Ungwa extraction to produce a consensus candidate. Uwogu made these clarifications in a press conference at his Aba country home and said there was never a time any meeting was held among governorship aspirants from Ukwangwa for the purpose of producing a consensus candidate. He described as bogus and deceptive campaign strategy claims by some aspirants that they have been endorsed by the state's governor. He said he had the endorsement of God while also urging Abians to disregard the rumor that the governor had anointed a particular candidate as a successor. He expressed optimism that all aspirants will have a level playing ground during the forthcoming primaries People's Democratic Party in the state. As the fallout of the World Congresses of the PDP in Rivers State continues, the leadership of the party in the state has warned its governorship and other aspirants to play by the rules and be guided by the provisions of Article 58 of the party's constitution of 2012 as amended. State Chairman of the party Felix Obua, in a statement signed by Special Advisor on Media, Jerry Nindam, called on governorship aspirants and other aspirants on the platform of the party to stop making statements that will bring the name of the party into disrepute, threatening that disciplinary actions would be taken against errant members. Obua, who was reacting to statements credited to some aspirants on the platform of the party, says the party has decided not to zone the governorship of the party for the 2015 election. Obua also reminded the aspirants that the party is superior to individuals and would not cease to conduct its programs and activities according to the provisions of its constitution. Ekiti State's Governor Ayo Fayose has advised the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Adewale Omiri, to respect his office and stop dreaming of being made the acting governor of the state. Speaking in Ado-Ekiti through his special assistant on public communication and new media, Larry Olainka, the governor berated the speaker for statements credited to him in some national newspapers, in which he said damning evidence came out against Fayose during the hearing of the election petition filed by the All Progressives Congress. He also advised Omiri to behave responsibly and honor his exalted office and stop seeing himself as the Speaker of the APC, who is under the control of his party leaders. But the Speaker, in a swift reaction, says a report on the state television station EKTV that he addressed a press conference in Lagos where he allegedly told reporters that it would be the acting governor that would conduct a governorship run in January is untrue. Omiri says he has not been to Lagos for some time and so had no contact with reporters to make the comments credited to him. The All Progressives Congress in Ekiti State has accused Governor Ayodele Fayose of awarding the repainting of the governor's office to his blood brother at the cost of 200 million naira. It also accused the governor of awarding a contract to put marble in front of the government house, which he had earlier described as too expensive, while also relaying asphalt on an already asphalted road leading to the lodge. In a statement by the State Publicity Secretary, Taiwo Olatuboso, the APC said artisans working on the marble are all imported from Ibadan, when many Ekiti artisans could do the job. But the governor, in his reaction through his media aide Idowu Adelusi, says all the allegations are untrue, as the contracts were all awarded to indigenous contractors from the state and none of his brothers. The FCT administration is planning to resettle villages that are located on the right-of-way of ongoing road construction in some developed and developing districts in the federal capital city. FCT Minister Bala Mohammed dropped this hint at the weekend in Abuja. The minister said that his administration is committed to resolving encroachment on the right-of-way that impedes ongoing road construction to enable contractors handling the provision of infrastructure complete their jobs. He, however, assured stakeholders that they would be carried along in the process to ensure that all parties are satisfied and given a sense of belonging. According to him, the affected districts include Guzape and Kuruduma villages, Pipe Village, in Idu district as well as Karmo village. Other affected villages are Aleta, Piakasa and Chika, which are to be affected by the Abuja Technology Village, Kagini, Kaba, Guida and Saburi villages, as well as Jahi, Kado and Kuchia. Health Minister Aliru Alassane has raised the fear over the likely resurgence of Ebola virus disease in Nigeria. He spoke at the ceremony marking the upgrading of Federal Medical Center, Idu-Ekiti, to a Federal Teaching Hospital and the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the federal government and Afe Babalola University, Ado-Ekiti, while expressing worry over the nationwide strike embarked upon by the Joint Health Staff Union. The minister said Nigeria is not completely free from Ebola as long as there are reported cases of the deadly virus in any part of the world. Alassane, while appealing to all concerned to sustain the leadership role of the President Goodluck Jonathan in tackling the deadly disease, says the indefinite strike action embarked upon by JOHESU at a time when many Nigerians would return home from abroad to celebrate Christmas and New Year could threaten the success achieved. The MOU followed the building of a 2.5 billion naira worth clinical complex by the proprietor of Abuad, Afe Babalola, in the hospital as part of the requirements by Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria and National Universities Commission for the institution to train medical doctors. Rivers State has announced a donation of 5,000 complete set of personal protective equipment to ECOWAS in support of member states affected by Ebola virus disease. Health Minister Samson Parker announced the donation on behalf of Governor Rotimi Amechi when he received an ECOWAS delegation in Port Harcourt at the weekend. He also disclosed that the state is contributing 100 volunteer health workers to the pool of 500 pledged by Nigeria to assist ECOWAS countries affected by Ebola. Lagos State is also contributing more than 200 of the Nigerian volunteers due to travel to their respective countries of assignment. The ECOWAS team is in Nigeria to document the country's success in stemming the tide of the virus that has killed 5,000 lives from the 13,000 confirmed cases since the outbreak. It's still the CoreTV Primetime News. We take a break now and we return with business, sports and other stories outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Professor.
My former students.
Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Nigerians are expected to seek out the best. 2 words to describe the activity.
The Yoruba Unity Forum is conducted.
Be the first to know.
CoreTV News.
From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa.
Presidential
We break the news.
Women in Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live
I wish you would.
as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV Primetime
Our
News.
24-hour news station.
Thank you for being there. And just before the business news, Chief Benjamin Nnamdi Azikiwe was one of the leading figures of modern Nigerian nationalism. He served as the second and the last Governor General from 1960 to 1963. Remembering this great icon, the Indigbo Cultural Society held the 18th edition of activities to celebrate the lives and times of one of the icons of Nigeria's nationhood. Emmanuel Ajayi's report on the anniversary is presented from our studio.
With the hall filled to capacity, obviously, full of many Indigbo who will not forget the labor of one of the heroes of our past, Nnamdi Azikiwe. The ceremony attracted lots of dignitaries within Nigeria. Representing the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ben Obi says the late Zik, as it's fondly called, is an icon of Nigeria's nationalism, saying that even in death, he lives on.
Zik was a detribalized Nigerian. His faith in the oneness of Nigeria was never shaken, and his wisdom was of the order of Solomon. These qualities placed him in an unequal pedestal, mystified him before the people of the extent that many thought that Zik could never die. Hence, a lot of us were not surprised that Zik died twice, resurrecting once from the ashes of unmitigated rumor mongering.
A chairman of the occasion and former head of state Yakubu Gowon says his contact with the late icon was a memorable one.
I had something to do with him. So as I've said, this may be the result of direct encounters such as I had with him, or encounters captured from books, or from some form of oral history of the nationalistic exploit of Zik that is handed down to our younger compatriots over the years.
On the recent upsurge in the activities of the terrorist group Boko Haram, Director General of the Nigeria Institute of International Affairs, Professor Bola Akiterwa, says consensus building is the key to solving conflicting interests of the Boko Haram insurgents.
And this under this Jonathanic administration as well. And the concrete evidence is the national confab. He told them, please, he would like that you work, you discuss on the basis of consensus. He emphasized consensus. And where consensus wouldn't work, okay, have qualified majority. You will discuss, you will remember that when the national confab started, there was much debate as to whether it will be 75 or 70. So when you look at it, consensus is the issue. So the question is, what will Zik have done in this type of situation? He will have ensured that consensus building is focused upon.
As Nigerians continue to remember this great icon, it is important for everyone to build a legacy that will ensure the sustenance of the labors of people like Nnamdi Azikiwe, or Zik of Africa, as he was fondly referred to by his admirers.
And now to business stories. Nigeria Deposits Insurance Corporation has unveiled Volume 7 and 8 of the Nigerian Banking Law Reports. Former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Alpha Begore, presented the new documents at the weekend in Abuja. The retired jurist also commended the NDIC for sustaining the publication, which is said would go a long way to aid the development of the economy.
We applaud the efforts of the corporation to sustain publication up to date. It is no doubt one of the reliable means of disseminating knowledge of law and practice of banking in Nigeria to the general public. Finally, it is gratifying to note that the Nigerian Banking Law Report is the only one of its kind in Nigeria and probably in West Africa. In terms of quality, it is one of the best in the annals of legal reports. Some of the features of the report which makes it stand out are: it is accessible and affordable. It is well focused within the set mission of its content. It is durable, well bounded, unfading. It is impregnable in identity. It lends itself readily to the need and activities of legal researchers.
It will interest you to note that NDIC, as a member of the Financial Sector Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, has been actively involved in promoting and distributing to financial and contributing to the financial inclusion, which is a tool for economic development, particularly in the area of poverty reduction, employment generation, wealth creation, and improving welfare through its mandate of deposit guarantee, supervision, and
The Lagos Chambers of Commerce has attributed the success of this year's trade fair to collaborative efforts of the Lagos State government in the fight against Ebola disease that led to the World Health Organization declaring Nigeria Ebola-free. At the 2014 Lagos International Trade Fair and Exhibition in Lagos, the president of LCCI, Remi Bello, says in spite of all challenges this year, trade fair witnessed huge participants all over the world. He, however, charged government at all levels to help build quality economy institutions that will improve the welfare of the Nigerian people.
I am also delighted to observe that the Nigerian business community and foreign investors alike have again demonstrated their confidence in the Nigerian economy and their determination to succeed in spite of the challenges in the investment environment. I commend their courage, resilience, and optimism. It is our hope that the governments at all levels will address the numerous impediments to private sector development in the country, especially as regards infrastructures, security, quality of institutions, and funding. We need to do this in order to harness the bountiful enterprising resource of Nigerian and foreign entrepreneurs for the transformation of our economy and the welfare of our people.
Some of the participants of different institutions speak about their experiences about this year's exhibition.
Bring this year's edition to a close. Until the 6th of November 2015, I urge all of you to continue to demonstrate your confidence in the Nigerian economy and the economy of Lagos State in particular by always investing in Lagos State. You are sure of...
Yes, of course. Many customers get it here, and it's special like all the customers, they know us very well.
And now to sports stories. Nigeria's senior national team on Sunday morning arrived Uyo ahead their must-win crucial 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying game against South Africa on Wednesday. The African champions kept their AFCON 2015 qualification hopes alive with goals from Ikechukwu Uche and Aaron Samuel scoring a Nigeria 2-0 win at the Stade Municipal in Point Noir on Saturday. The former Nigerian international believes the qualification chances of the country is brighter, but insists a clinical victory against the Bafana Bafana of South Africa will do Nigeria. Will the Super Eagles return to the country around 10 p.m. on Saturday evening abroad from Congo via chartered Discovery airliner and arrived at about 1:45 a.m. on Sunday morning in the Akwa Ibom State's capital city. Those that returned with the flight were Coach Stephen Keshi and his 25 players, assistant coaches, backroom staff, 9 journalists and 30 supporters. Others on board were also the Chairman, Senate Committee on Sports, Ibrahim Gumba, Member of Committee on Sports in House of Representatives, Mudashiru Oyetunde, alongside the NFF President, Amaju Pinnick. After the victory in Point Noir, Nigeria moves to second with 7 points, while Congo drops to third with same points but separated by goal differences. Former Nigeria head coach Samson Siasia has urged Stephen Keshi's men to redouble their efforts in the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying game against South Africa on Wednesday. The African champions kept their AFCON 2015 qualification hopes alive with goals from Ikechukwu Uche and Aaron Samuel, scoring a Nigeria 2-0 win at the Stade Municipal in Point Noir. Juventus midfielder Paul Pogba says Portugal captain Cristiano Ronaldo is the only logical choice to win the 2014 FIFA Ballon d'Or. The Real Madrid star has enjoyed a stunning year, firing his side to the Champions League and Copa del Rey before hitting 20 goals in just 10 Liga games so far in 2014-2015. Ronaldo also became the top scorer in European Championship history this week when he hits the winner in Portugal's 1-0 victory over Armenia. And Pogba feels he is the obvious favorite to defend his Ballon d'Or crown. And now outside Nigeria, a video released into the internet claims to show that the group Islamic State has captured U.S. aid worker Abdulrahman Kasig. In the video, a masked militant stands over a severed head and said to be that of Kasig. The aid worker, known as Peter Kasig until its conversion to Islam, was kidnapped in Syria last year. In an October video of the killing of British aid worker Alan Henning, the group had ended with a threat to Kasig. It was not immediately possible to confirm that Kasig was pictured in the latest video, which also purports to show a group of Syrian soldiers being killed. Abdulrahman Kasig's parents, who live in the U.S. state of Indiana, last month released extracts of a letter written by him in which it told of the strains of captivity. U.S. President Barack Obama met European leaders on the sidelines of the G20 meeting on Sunday in Australia to discuss a coordinated response to what they see as Russia's destabilization of Ukraine. Obama told reporters Mr. Putin was violating international law, providing heavy arms to the separatists in eastern Ukraine and violating the Minsk agreement. He said the economic isolation of Russia would continue unless Mr. Putin changed course. In a television interview on Saturday, Vladimir Putin called for an end to sanctions against Russia, saying they harmed the world economy as well as Russia. The Kremlin denies sending military forces or heavy weapons to pro-Russian rebels in eastern Ukraine. During the summit, Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper and British Prime Minister David Cameron also sharply criticized Mr. Putin. World leaders agreed to plans drawn up by finance ministers from G20 countries in February, known as the Brisbane Action Plan, to boost their collective GDP growth by at least 2%. This is a rare, pretty ambitious target for many G20 economies that are struggling with recession or very little growth. And that's it on CoreTV Primetime News. But before we go, here is another reminder of our top stories. We reported that the police have confirmed explosion in Azare, Bauchi State. We also reported that Nigerian army has retaken the town of Chibok few days after it fell to Boko Haram. Independence National Electoral Commission has extended voter registration exercise in Lagos, Kano, and 4 other states. And that's it for tonight. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Ebulomo Adekunle saying have a pleasant night rest.